In this video, I'm going to steal away 15 minutes of your life on this earth to watch this video, because a lot of people ask me this, which is, Vasco, I don't know how to code, I don't have any money, how can I start a software business? First things first, you need to have some money. If you don't have money, I don't know, go work at McDonald's. But there's a way in which you can start a software business, a SaaS, software as a service, without knowing how to code and with very little money down. I'm talking about maybe less than $1,000. Now, it's not easy, but it's doable. And it's not using low code, because I don't want you to be using low code. There's a bunch of these platforms that say that you can build any SaaS with low code. And in theory you can, but it's super shitty. You don't have enough customization. You cannot build a real tech product with a low code tool, at least just yet. You gotta build it from scratch. And so again, in this video, I wanna go over exactly how you can build a software business like mine, like the one I sold before, and like the one I'm currently working on. Again, without having any money, less than $1,000. Yeah, let's get it going. Right, so we are inside my computer, and again, I want to go over exactly the blueprint I use to grow a software business without knowing how to code. Till this day, I have no idea how to code, and with zero, I guess, less than $1,000 that you can copy. Now, first things first, before diving into any training, why am I qualified? Well, it's because I've done this twice. So my very first software company, which I've since sold, we grew it from zero to over $300,000 in sales in its first 12 months of existence. And this software business that I'm growing right now, working on right now, we did 60K in January. Now, I can go over to Stripe and refresh it if you can see it, but I mean, I guess we'll leave that for another time. So here's why I'm qualified, and here's my my 4-step SaaS blueprint anyone can copy, again, without knowing how to code and with less than $1,000. So step one is how to avoid a terrible SaaS idea and land on one that's guaranteed to work, right? If you don't have a SaaS just yet, I want to go over how to go through the ideation process. Now, if you already have a SaaS, stick with me here because it's still going to be a lot available right here. Then second step is building your SaaS without knowing how to code and with $0. Third one is avoid wasting time by selling your SaaS before you build it. Now, a lot of people think you have to build it, then sell it. It's actually the other way around. You have to sell it, then you have to build it. And then how to get infinite clients without spending money on ads. Okay, so this is the 4-step blueprint I use to do this and this, and that you can do too. Okay, so before that though, I want to tell you the gold mine you're sitting on with SaaS. And I know a lot of you guys watching this YouTube channel are beginners, and you don't really realize, which is fair enough, right, the gold mine that SaaS is. And so I want to give you a breakdown on why SaaS is so beautiful and how much money you can make. So let's say, for example, here's an example, right? A 1K MRR SaaS, MRR stands for monthly recurring revenue, because with SaaS, you have people paying you on a recurring basis. So 1K MRR SaaS is simply 20 people paying you $49 a month, right? Quite simple. So you just need to find 20 people, get them to pay you $49 a month, and you have a business worth 12K, right? 20 customers paying you $49 a month, it's 12K ARR. ARR stands for annual recurring revenue. Now, the math for valuations, it's quite simple, right? If you have a 1K MRR SaaS, 1K times 12 months times a 1 multiple valuation, right? It is a business worth 12K, right? You can sell it in theory for 12K. Now, if you have a 5K MRR, right, 5K monthly recurring revenue, right, that's 5K times 12 months times a multiple of 1.5, right, you have a business worth $90,000. Now, why is the multiple bigger here? Because, I mean, a 5K MRR is a more established business than a 1K MRR, so buyers usually tend to give you a stronger multiple. So the higher and the more you grow your MRR, usually the higher the multiple goes, right? And these are very low. Down below in this video, I'm going to show you the actual real multiples. It's more 4 and 5, right? But I'll talk about it later on. 10K MRR SaaS, 10K times 12 times 1.5, that's almost 200K. And if you reach 40K MRR and even beyond, right, you can get 4 to 5x multiple. So that's a $2.4 million SaaS, okay? That's the math. This is getting you excited to get into SaaS. And you won't get any of this in any other business, right? Dropshipping won't get you this. Agencies won't get you this, right? Because with SaaS, you have recurring revenue. You can search this. It's the business type that has the highest valuations. And for a reason that is because profit margins are usually very high and there's predictable revenue at the end of each month because it's recurring revenue, okay? Now, you might be asking yourself, so yeah, that's cool, but where do I find these 20 people? And first, before all that, we need to look at the 4-step blueprint, this stuff right here. Okay, so we need to look at the 4-step blueprint first. I want to go over each one of these steps, and I promise you this will be boring, but I mean, if you want to succeed in business, succeed in life, you got to go through the boring stuff and actually implement the stuff that works. Because if this were simple, fun, and easy, everyone would do it, okay? So let's dive in. First things first is avoiding terrible SaaS ideas and landing on one that's guaranteed to work. So not building stuff like this. And so what you gotta understand is that ideation is quite simple. You don't need to overcomplicate this, right? Ideas are pointless. It's all about execution. I know this is super cliche, but cliches are cliches for a reason because they're true, right? Ideas are pointless. It's all about execution. So the idea you have now, right? Let's say you have this amazing idea in your head, right? Will change and morph into something different when you start getting customers. So don't be attached to the idea. Now, how do I do it? How do I come up with ideas? It's super simple. That's the only thing you need to do is you copy something that's working and make it niche. And these two sets right here, these and these ones that I showed you before, right? The one I grew and sold and the one I'm growing right now, both of these ideas already existed. And they were literally billion-dollar companies, right? Fiverr and Upwork, right, are two publicly traded billion-dollar companies, literally. And I just built a niche-down version of them, right? Jasper is a billion-dollar company too, and I just built a niche-down version of it. So I just copied the idea and niche down. So don't look for new ideas. Don't try to build the next Uber. Don't try to build the next Facebook. See what's working on certain niches and niche it down or niche it to a different language, okay? Let's say, for example, you find something that's working very well in the States, in USA. You go out and you implement this in your country, in Portugal, in Spain, right, in Italy, right? You can niche down for a language, but you can also niche down for niche. For example, let's say there's this big CRM that works for every niche of business, right? Then you find one that works and you build one that works just for lawyers or just for plastic surgeons or just for dentists that do XYZ, okay? So super simple. Don't overcomplicate this, okay? Just niche down. Now, second step, how do you build your SaaS without knowing how to code and $0? So this is you right now. You don't know how to code. You have no idea what you're doing. Me too, right? Till this day, I built these two software businesses, sold one, building this one right now, and I have no idea how to code. I have no idea how to write a single line of code. And so how do you do it? How do you start with zero? So you have two options, right? You either learn to code and do it yourself, which is slow and not very smart, to be honest, or you partner up with a developer, which is fast and smart, right? That's what I did right here. Now, who and where do you find these people? And so again, a lot of people tell you don't need to outsource, pay someone to do it for you. That's not smart, right? So let's say, for example, you would not listen to me and you would like try to outsource it, try to go with an agency, try to outsource, try to find someone on a marketplace, Fiverr, Upwork, or hire an agency to build out the software for you. Now, in theory, it sounds amazing, right? Because you just hire someone to do all the work for you, right? It's brilliant. However, the issue is your goal is to spend $0. You don't want to spend any money. Like I said before, you want to build your SaaS without knowing how to code and with $0. And so how do you do it if you're outsourcing it for an agency or for a freelancer? Well, you don't. And even if you were to, there are issues, right? The issues that come with hiring a freelancer or an agency. What if the Upwork or Fiverr freelancer isn't that good? And what if the freelancer, maybe it's amazing, but then they leave you in a year? How are you going to replace them? They're going all in, they're going away with all the knowledge. So there's a lot of issues when it comes to hiring a freelancer or outsourcing the work, which is why I don't do it. But equally, I don't want to code. So what do I do, right? I don't want to code. I don't want to learn either. So what do I do? If I don't hire people, right, what do I do? Simply, like I said before, I do partnerships. And partnerships mean skin in the game. So I partner up with a developer and they give them equity. Simple. So zero money down because, you're giving them equity instead of money, right? They're locked into the project so they cannot just leave. Like, for example, a freelancer or an agency, if they were to leave you after a year, right? You'd be stuck with all this code. You have no idea what to do. You'd be like stuck and you'd have to find another developer. It's a lot, right? It's painful. I've done that mistake. It's very painful. And your chances of success are higher because you're partnering up with someone that has vested interest into making this work. And also remember that 50% of a SaaS worth $10 million, it's much better than 100% of a SaaS worth 10K. So the best solution is to partner up with a developer. Pretty simple. Now, you might be asking, okay, so that's good. Where do I find these people? Where do I find the developers? Well, simple. Partners can be found literally anywhere. For my first ever software company, I started with Facebook groups, didn't really work. I went to Reddit, I went to Upwork, didn't really work, right? This sort of worked, opened a couple of doors, spoke with a couple of people, right? But eventually I went with a friend of a friend. But I went through all these, and I found quality people here and here too. And so I went to all these places. For my second one, I didn't go to Facebook groups, I didn't go to Reddit or Upwork, I just went to a friend of a friend right off the bat. Okay, there's reasons for that, but I don't want to make this video super long. But you can ask them below in the comments to me record a video on this, specifically on how to find a co-founder. And I'll do it. But again, what I wanted to take away from this is that partners can be found anywhere. That's the most simple thing I want to go over. And so till this day, how much money was spent? $0. And now you have a great idea and someone who can build it, right? So you spend $0, have this amazing idea, and someone that's a co-founder that has vested interest in making this work and building up your SaaS, right? Now, the third step is avoiding wasting time and money by selling your SaaS before you build it. So usually people do this the other way around. So they usually build a SaaS and then they sell it. Now, what I want you to do is to first sell And after you have some market validation, after people actually give you money, right, then you say, okay, now I'm going to go and build it. Because if you do it the other way around, you're going to be wasting a lot of time. And I'll go over an example on how I did that mistake here right now. So building and launching your MVP. MVP stands for minimum viable product, okay? And so here's the first iteration of our current SaaS. This, right, it is awful, right? It's ugly. You click generate and we'd send the info to your email. Like, it was awful. Like, all of it was awful. Logo awful. No, not pages, not anything. It was awful. But this is exactly what an MVP is: a minimum viable product, a product that does what it needs to do in its minimum viable state. Right now, here's an example of what I mean by selling. And I want to give you here another example for this. But before, I want to go over how I sold 7K's worth of a SaaS without an existing product. We had this landing page, and this product did not exist. So what we did was we just created a landing page for this SaaS that we had an idea for, which is basically a online directory. So people would pay us a monthly fee, and we'd create them an online directory, right? And so we just had this page. We had a video right here of me going over what the software was going to be, right? I was like, listen, guys, if you buy this lifetime deal, because we were offering a lifetime deal to get people on, you'll be able to build directories online with XYZ features. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be super great, right? And we sold them on the idea and what they would be able to do, right? And then to lock them in, we offer them a lifetime deal, right? And we sold almost 8K's worth of this, right? And only when we had like 5K worth of purchases did we went out and build the software. So in that letter that I showed you earlier, right, we sold first and then we built it, right? Because if we were to have built it first, right, imagine we built this whole thing out, right? And then 6 months from now, we said, okay, hey guys, we have this amazing product. Who wants to buy it? What's going to happen is that most likely people will not want to buy it, okay? Because you're going to spend a lot of time building features that you think people want when in reality they do not want them. And here's an example of exactly how I made that mistake. So with my very first software business, I did this mistake. I want to give you an analogy to explain this properly. So let's say you have this grand idea of your SaaS. Let's say your idea is this amazing building. First, this is an analogy, by the way. This amazing building with floor-to-ceiling windows, right? All glass, amazing big windows, this huge entrance door, right? And there's even a helipad on top where helicopters can land, right? This is your amazing SaaS idea. There's even a slide, right? People can like go down the slide, right? The building is covered in gold, right? It's this amazing idea you have in your mind. This is what you have in your brain. You want to put it up to people to buy it. And this is what I did, right? I had this idea in my mind and I built it all. I spent 12 months almost building this idea, this amazing building with all these features that I thought customers would want. And finally, when my hotel opened, my SaaS was released to the market, there was a bunch of stuff we'd been working on that people didn't actually care for. And so what you need to do is you need to build a MVP. So for this case in specific, you'd build a mud hut, right? A hut made out of mud with a door, right? And this mud hut serves the same purpose as this gold-plated hotel with a slide and helipad and floor-to-ceiling windows, because both of these, right, serve shelter to people. So people can go here and take shelter, but then they can also go here and take shelter, right? So you're building the exact same thing, right? Just a dumbed-down version of it. And when people start coming in, a lot of people start coming in, they're going to tell you, listen, I don't really like this. Like, there's no windows. Okay, so then you build the windows, right? And then they say, but there's no door. So then you build the door. And then a lot more people start coming in and they say, yeah, but we don't all fit here. So then you add other floors, more floors, more floors. And then people say, but this is made out of mud. When it rains, the whole building falls on. So then maybe you make it out of concrete, right? Then you go towards the vision you had at the beginning, but you don't start building out the vision, because again, you're going to spend a lot of time doing it. For this SaaS right here, we spent almost 12 months building the idea. I said to the guy, listen, add this, add that, add consulting calls, add a lot of stuff. And these were ideas that I thought people would want. And turns out when we released it, people didn't really care for them, right? At least not in the beginning. So we spent a ton of time building out this amazing gold-plated building when we should have just built an MVP, a shitty mud hut that served the same purpose of this grand hotel, and then we'd iterate based on customer feedback, which is, again, of course, what we did with our second SaaS. This is awful. It doesn't look like this at all right now, but we started with the mud hut. This is the mud hut, right? So two things to take into consideration here, Start with the mud hut, right? Or if you don't even want to build an MVP or with a mud hut, you just do this, right? Sell before you build. Just build a landing page with a lifetime deal and drive traffic there and sell them on the idea. And once you have certain validation in terms of money, then you go out and build the idea, okay? If you want the video on this, I have it. I'll link it down below in the description. So yeah. So after that, right? What about marketing? How do you actually drive traffic to either to here or to the actual business, right? Well, the issue with marketing is that there's infinite things you can do, literally. right? There's infinite things. You can go out and give out flyers on the street. You can do Facebook ads. You can do Instagram Reels. You can do YouTube videos, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, email marketing, LinkedIn. There's infinite things you can do. And that's the main issue with marketing where people get caught up because, I mean, there's too much. They get overwhelmed, which is fair enough, right? And so what I do and what I recommend you do is you focus on all, right? You focus on all, you try every single one of them, and then you just double down on what works. For example, for my first SaaS, I tried Facebook groups, I tried Twitter, Reddit, LinkedIn, I tried them all, right? TikTok sort of work, I guess, yes, TikTok sort of work. Reddit did not work at all. LinkedIn did not work at all. Facebook groups sort of work, right? Twitter sort of work. Actually, not really. And then so we just double down on this, and this, right? But we tried everything because we need to know, we need to like look for where your customers are at. So we need to try everything, okay? For my second SaaS, I tried cold email, sort of work. I tried ads, didn't work just yet. I tried LinkedIn, didn't work. Twitter, sort of. YouTube worked very well. So we just doubled down on YouTube. TikTok didn't really work at all, right? And it will depend, right? If your SaaS is B2B, which is business to business, or B2C, right? It will depend, right? Depending on your niche. Because, for example, if you're building a CRM for doctors, maybe ads will work better. Maybe cold email will work better, right? If you're building a B2C SaaS that does XYZ, for example, Duolingo or Grammarly or Netflix or Dropbox, whatever, right? Maybe YouTube ads will work better. I don't know, but it depends. My point here is that you need to test every single thing, see what works for your niche in specific, and then just double down on what works. Super simple. Don't overcomplicate this, okay? Now, what if you don't want to market? Should you hire an outsourcer just like you did with a developer? Well, it could be a great idea to just hire an agency to do all the marketing for you since you're not a skilled marketer. However, right, the problem is you might hire an agency that you become too reliant upon. So you don't really know what they're doing. And then when they leave, because eventually they leave, right, your business goes from great to non-existent. So the best way to handle marketing, right, to bring in customers to your SaaS, right, isn't to go, I need to become the best marketer in the world. It's not that. It's to learn what kind of marketing works for your business, right, by trying every single thing, right, first, right, and then get a handle of it for yourself and then hand over the reins to someone else. So understanding first, right, understanding what works, what traffic source is the best for your business, and then hand it over to someone else. For example, right now, TikTok is sort of working for us, so we like made these processes and then hand it out to an agency, right? Ads, we're starting to do that. So we're trying them ourselves, we're seeing what works, what doesn't, and then we assign them to an agency. But first, you need to know how things work yourself, and you need to lay out down your process because no agency will care as much as you do about your business, okay? So that's how you do marketing. That's why you should not outsource it, at least at the beginning. This is a repeat slide, so forget about this. And so that's it. That's the blueprint. So no coding, no marketing, no money. I did it. You can do it too. So now, before I mention how much money you can make, this is all fun and games, but again, you want actual tangible strategies on how to find 20 people. So how do we actually find 20 people when there's infinite ways? I want to go over a tangible strategy you can follow, okay, down here. But there's, of course, free lead sources with YouTube, LinkedIn, Reddit, all social media platforms, SEO, affiliates, and there's paid traffic sources. Now, I'll go over one because I don't have time to like go over all of them, but I'll leave a link in the description for 3 different videos where they go over different strategies to get leads for your SaaS. Honestly, way more than 20 people. So I'll leave them down below for free, so go watch them if you want more strategies. But I want to go over just one, which is the YouTube method, which is quite simple. It's just how I grew these businesses, right? The very first one, SaaS I grew, was Facebook and YouTube, right? The second one was YouTube, and this one we sold almost 8K's worth of, the one that I showed before, was just Twitter, right? The one we sold before we built, okay? Now, here's the YouTube funnel. It's quite simple, right? Let's say you do 10 videos a month. Super simple, super like easy, right? Maybe you do videos recording, going over your future features, or maybe you have already features, so you go over your features, whatever, you do marketing videos. Again, if you want a bit more in-depth training on this, I'll leave it down below in the description. Let's say, for example, you get 200 views per video, right? That's 2K views per month. Let's say, out of those 2,000 people, only 10% of viewers like actually go and click your site. So 1,800 people go out the window, right? They don't really care. They click on your video, but they don't really care and click on your site. So 200 people click on your site. Let's say out of those 200 people, right, only 5% go up and create a free account on your SaaS website. So 190 just click on your site, it's awful, just go away, right? These are awful numbers, by the way. So you get 10 people's emails, right? Let's say out of those 10 people that try the product, only 1 becomes a client. So 9 of them just don't really like your product. It's awful for them. Only 1 buys it. Again, these are awful conversion rates, right? You get 1 client just with 10 views a month, right? And these are super small numbers. And how do I know this works? Because again, I've done it. I did it for this one, did it for this one. This one's with Twitter, but it's more or less the same thing. Just make noise. Again, if you want more in-depth training on this, I'll link it down below in the description. But it's basically it. It's super simple. Keep it simple, okay? Again, think about the money. And here's a more realistic number. So this is a screenshot from acquire.com. This is a marketplace where you can list your SaaSes for sale. These are the confirmed profit multiples for SaaS sales. So in 2022, right, if you listed a SaaS company for sale on this marketplace, usually buyers would give you a multiple or 5.4 the ARR. And in 2023, 4.3. So this means, right, if you do an average of 4, right, let's say you have a 10K MRR SaaS, right, 10K times 12 months times a 4x multiple, that's almost $500,000, right? Even if you just 5K MRR, which is again, 20 clients or 40 clients paying you $49 a month. It's super simple. 5K times 12 times 4, that's $240,000 worth of a business. Again, confirmed profit multiples. People actually pay this, again, because it's not SMMA, it's not dropshipping, it's not agency, it is a SaaS, software as a service with recurring revenue. That's why SaaS is amazing, right? Hopefully by now I convinced you to start, I convinced you to find 20 people to pay just $49 a month, and you'll have a SaaS doing 1K a month, which is worth a minimum of 12K. Ideally, you're gonna jump towards these levels right here where the real money is. So hopefully I've convinced you to start. Again, if you already have a SaaS, right, what I went over here should also give you a couple more clients. If you're just starting out with SaaS, all this hopefully will get you going, get you from idea to actual product, right? And start your journey in SaaS, okay? I'll leave also 2 more links down below in the description. One for my free SaaS course, 1000% for free. I go over all this stuff a bit more in depth. Second link for my one-on-one coaching program. That's only if you're not a beginner. That's only if you already have a SaaS making some MRR. If you want to work with me one-on-one to grow it to like levels like I've done this and this, I can work with you. Again, if you're a beginner, no worries, just watch the free content. That's it. That's the video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, any doubts, let me know down below in the comments. I put some effort into this, so I want to make sure you guys like it. And if you do, please leave a like and comment, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.